Well, I'm working up the final set of drawings for Catalina Wherry, and I just thought I would touch a little bit on the subject of offsets. A table of offsets is really sort of a numerical chart that plots out all of the intersections that our boat has in its relationship to a grid that we create. So we have station lines, and in many cases we have water lines too. We have a base line, we have a center line. I'm not using any water lines in this particular boat because we're using the plank lines themselves, which certainly adds a complication to working up the lines on here. And that's because none of these lines are straight. We've got them curved in two different directions, and I need to make sure they all juggle together to coordinate and look good. In fact, they got to look good in three different directions. They got to look good in the profile, they've got to look good in the half breadth, and then they've also got to look good in our plan view or our body plan. And so everywhere that one of these elements crosses another element, we create an offset. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through the grid here, basically one station at a time, and I'm picking off the half breadths of each plank line as it crosses that station, and I'm picking off the heights of each plank line as it crosses each station. And the heights are above a baseline. Half breadths are from a center line. And there is there's a system of nomenclature that we use when we're creating half breadths. And the standard nomenclature is referring to each of these intersections in the form of a number of feet, a number of inches, and a number of eighths of an inch. Because, of course, in the imperial system, eighths of an inch is sort of a very convenient size to use. And some will actually go down to sixteenths or 32nds. It's not, sixteenths is as really accurate as you need to get. And when you're doing a lofting, that's about as accurate as you need to get as well, because often that's like the thickness of your pencil line when you're working on a full-size lofting. And it really works really quite well. And when you get right down to it, it's a very fast way of being able to write something down quickly and simply that's easy to read and hard to misunderstand. And you could call it out across a room if you're doing it, if you're lofting a very large boat and you had one person reading out offsets and another person marking them down on a lofting floor. You need some way to communicate that in a very clear way that doesn't get kind of fuddled up if it's a noisy environment of a shipyard, for instance. So anyhow, I'm working at the offsets for this particular boat here still, and so I'm working on station 3. And if I lay my scale along here, I've already done my shear plank. And if I look for I'm looking at the half breadth of the next plank lap down. So here I've got 1 foot, so I can put that down, 1. And then I got 8 inches, 8 inches, and then we look at the portions of an inch. And this is where it gets a little trickier because we switch to something we're not used to thinking about. So the number of eighths, in this case, it looks like I land just above 4/8, but not 5/8. So I would say 4, and then we use a plus sign to indicate a little bit more, or a 16th more. And sometimes people don't use plus signs. Sometimes they'll go up to the next number and use a minus sign. But I use a plus because we use these little, we often have a little dash between numbers, so that can get confusing if you use minuses as well. So then I go down to the next plank, and we get 1 foot again. And now we are at, let's see. So you know what? I messed up. This one was the 184 right here. 184 plus. This is what happens when you're trying to do too many things at once. Come on, stay put. Get rid of that. This guy is 110 and not quite an eighth, so I would say 0 plus. go down to the next one down. This one, this one, this one. Now we're here. So we are 1, 5, and this looks like it's like 3/4, so that's 6. 1, 5, 6/8. Next one down is 1, 3, and nothing, so 1, 3, 0. And then I've got to drop my scale down here for the last one. And so now I know I get 0 because I don't have any more full feet. And 6. And it looks like 6 again. So simple as that. And it's a lot easier, if you can imagine, than writing, say, trying to convert from feet to all inches, or from feet and inches and fractions. So this just brings it down to a very simple method. I really like the system. It works well, and it's a fairly fast way of putting all this stuff down here with little room for making mistakes. So long as you can quickly in your head switch from thinking about, you know, 1/4 of an inch or 3/4 or 1/2 an inch to the number of eighths within each of those divisions. All right, well, that's all I got for you, and be sure to join us for the next long format video. I got the final bit of drafting video for the ideation drawing. This is our finished drawing now, so this is the fully refined lines. And so we're going to be moving ahead from this. I'll probably go on to, I think I might do a model for fun, but this is our finished lines. I don't plan to change anything here. And I can go over to full-size lofting now that I have all these offsets figured out.